I'm terrified.
Cycle Speedway, fast, frantic and slightly bonkers racing on two wheels.
A sport which began in the wreckage of post-war Great Britain back in the 40s. There was over 200 clubs in East London alone. Since then, its popularity has fluctuated somewhat, but there are still certain pockets around the world where it's most definitely alive and well.
Today, myself, Alex and Connor are in one of those hotbeds at Newport Cycle Speedway Club in South Wales. And we're going to find out everything there is to know about Cycle Speedway. And we're going to find out who the fastest presenter is.
We're having a race!
Race time.
Oh yeah, come on Manon. Lee, thanks for having us here today. I'm itching to get going. You're the first team manager of Newport Cycle Speedway Club.
Indeed.
Can you just let us know before we get going, what is the history of Cycle Speedway? How did it start?
Okay, so Cycle Speedway started during the Second World War with kids building tracks that recreated their favourite sport of speedway on bomb sites around East London, and then it grew across the country until in the 1950s it became more formalised, federations were formed and clubs sprung up the length and breadth of the country. All races are 4 laps and there are always 4 riders in the race, be that team formula, which is 2 riders from each team, or individual formula, which is 4 riders riding for themselves in an individual race. So always 4 laps, always 4 riders. So full race pace, about 9.5 seconds per lap once you were up to speed. First lap probably takes 10.5, the remainder take about 9.5.
Okay, cool.
If you can pedal all the way around for 4. It's harder than you will imagine.
I'm interested to see if I'm going to manage that. But I'm even more interested to see the bikes because they look totally different to the road bike I'm used to riding. So if you head over and see one of these speedway bikes.
Let's do that.
Okay, we've just pinched the bike of the world champion, no less. This is Ben Mole's bike, his speedway bike. Lee, talk us through the main features. I mean, there's some obvious ones, but you
some obvious ones. So this was Ben's world championship winning bike, actually. He won it in Poland a couple of years ago, and this is the bike he actually rode. So purpose made for Cycle Speedway. Aluminium frame, designed to be lightweight but very strong as well. It's in essence a track bike, but with a steeper head angle than many people would be used to, very straight forks, so it's a very short wheelbase bike. 26-inch wheels with tyres that are designed to grip but also roll quite fast. Single gear, which is 3318, which is the most common gearing that people will ride in Cycle Speedway. Some people will ride variations around that, but generally that type of fairly small gearing actually, because you know the idea is to hit top speed quickly. The pedals are again Cycle Speedway specific, which are just flat nylon pedals with some grip on. So a lot of the bike is designed to not hurt people as well should you fall off, so there are no sharp edges on it. There are maximum lengths to spindle overhangs, for instance, or you can't have any kind of spikes or any other grip on the pedals, and that's why they're like that, to avoid accidents, to avoid injuries when there are accidents.
Because you were telling me that there's a good few crashes in Speedway.
There's a good few crashes. It's physical contact is allowed to a degree, and we'll run through some of that later on and show you some physical contact. So people come into contact with each other and they will fall off. It's not unusual that one race in 3 is interrupted with some kind of incident and you either restart it, or with all 4 riders, or one rider is excluded for some kind of infringement.
Okay, well, I was going to say I'm excited to get going. I'm slightly nervous to get going now, but let's get going. Let's get right on the track and let's see if we can get myself, Manon and Alex up to speed. I'm a terrible sprint.
Right, okay, so Lee, we've pretty much mastered the start, I'd say. How do you do this? That looks insane.
That, well, you practice for quite a long while. Basically though, you'll notice there's 2 bends, one at either end of the track. Much of the sport is how much speed you're going to carry around those bends. So it's really important to get the right line in the first instance. So the track's oval in shape, but really we race it as a circle. So you'll see when Ben's going around, he's wide down the straights, he picks a line and commits to that line through the bend. So he's trying to hit the apex of this bend, the middle of this bend, as tight as he can, carry as much speed as he can out of the bend, get back on the pedals, hit it down the straight again. That's what you're going to try to do. Turn in late, stick to one line, power out of the bend.
But surely off the start line, like all 4 people are going to be fighting for the same little space. So
Yes,
how do we
that's
not
true.
crash?
Well, sometimes you will.
Skill.
Okay. You've got to.
Maybe we're missing a trick here.
Maybe I should have bought knee pads.
Maybe you should. You will need to defend your line off the first bend.
It's quite physical.
That's your
Contact
space.
sport.
You've got to defend that space off the first bend. Once you're into the race, chances are some gaps will appear and you've got more room to position yourself on the track. The very first bend, you are going to have to fight for that space.
So am I right in thinking you can stick your leg out to try and take up a bit more space to stop people diving up the inside?
Well, you can't actually impact anyone with your leg,
okay.
so that's an excludable offence if you bring anyone down with your leg. But you can use your shoulders and you can use your elbows, as long as your hands are still on your handlebars, to defend that space. So somebody's on your outside, if you want to move out and take that line away, that's perfectly permissible.
Okay, let's give it a go. You judge who's best, because we're about to set a race up between us. This is our final practice.
Can't wait.
Okay,
Oh.
right. Okay, Lee, thanks very much for the tips and the lessons. Now that it's race time, myself versus Alex versus Manon. The winner of this gets the chance to go up against the world champion and some of the experts in Newport at Cycle Speedway Club. A lot at stake here. 4 laps, full race distance.
I'm nervous.
Oh,
I'm
pretty nervous.
I'm terrified.
Right.
I'm in the middle, so I'm worried that both of you are going to
Sandwich
squish
you.
me in the middle.
Alex sandwich.
Right.
My endurance. Right, you ready?
Four laps.
Going to count us in?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
My knees are shaking.
Okay then. Riders ready? You are under starters orders.
You were flying it.
4 laps took a lot longer than I thought.
Man, I'm just going wide on one corner, I think.
I went a little. I lost it on one corner.
Anyway, Alex is the winner. He's going up against the world champion now.
Good luck, Alex.
So Ben, you're current world champion, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. And next up, I've got a race against you. Now, I kind of am going to need a little bit of help from you, if I'm honest. I don't want to give all of your tips away, but what advice can you give me building up into this final race? A couple of bits of advice.
So probably your start is going to be the most important thing. So you want to be as explosive as you can.
Yeah.
And then flat out down the straights.
Yeah.
And just relax around the corners and don't get scared about the people around you. And don't be afraid to give them a bit of an elbow if you have to.
Okay, I'm not going to lie, I am slightly scared, but all right, I'll try and take that on board. Should we get ready and hit the start line?
Yeah. Let's do
Right,
it.
see you on the grid.
Going up against the world champion, some of the best talent, speedway talent in Wales.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a bit nervous.
Don't let us down.
Don't come last.
Don't.
Yeah.
You have one job.
Just don't mess it up.
I don't want to let the,
You're right, you're
don't want to let the GCM viewers down.
No, prime position. Get
Yeah,
right
come on,
on
concentrate,
first.
concentrate. Eyes on the
Elbows
prize.
out.
These guys.
Eyes on the prize. No
We gotta
joking
pretend.
around this time, Peyton.
Riders ready? You Surrender starters orders.
Never gonna lap him.
I would explain how it was. Struggling to breathe. Oh, well, I was last to the start line and last across the finish line, but guy, it highlights how quick those people are. That's unbelievable. Also, terrifying around the first couple of bends, but probably still the quickest I've gone. But yeah, we'll go with that.
Well, you did actually come last. I was about to say you didn't come last, but good effort anyway, mate. That was brilliant. And Ben, Lee, thanks so much for having us. It was brilliant to see Cycle Speedway. What an epic sport. I'm a bit addicted already.
It's so much good fun.
It's brilliant
Not
fun.
as scary as it looks when you're actually in there, though.
Well,
Like
you know, when you got your elbow pads on.
Yeah, they came in handy, didn't they, Connor?
Yeah. But let us know in the comments what you reckon Cycle Speedway. If you'd like to give it a go, let us know down there. And I think we're all going to go and keep riding around, aren't we?
Yeah, let's get a couple more laps in.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you on the next video.
I'm going to get you on the next start, all right?